Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Sorry I am so sweaty and gross right now. Just got finished with one of our deload workouts from the Ultimate In-Season Training Guide for Throwers. And the deload workouts we have are pretty tough, especially here in the gym that we're now so, extra efficient, if you want to say that, at running these workouts. We have some leftover time at the end, and we always throw in something dumb like, heavy farmers walks or keg carries or something of that nature. So that's kind of what we're doing today, and why I'm still a little bit out of breath. But today's question is actually left on one of our YouTube videos by a guy in the Maryland area who's been coaching track and field throwers now for 4 years. His name is John Jones. Now, John basically says that he has a new crop of throwers, and his new crop of throwers, although they're very proficient in the weight room, they're good with their Olympic lifts, they're good with their lifting, they've got pretty good form and technique. When it comes to their time in the throwing circle, as he puts it, they have 2 left feet and 2 left hands. They're a little bit uncoordinated, they're a little bit out of rhythm, out of sync, and he's wondering if there's any drills or if there's anything that I know of that will help them out to get them to be a little bit more proficient in the circle as well as in the weight room. Well, it comes down to this, to be quite honest with you, to steal a phrase, or to paraphrase from a guy by the name of Dave Tate from Elite FTS, a guy who I followed for a while now and read a lot of his stuff. Dave kind of came up with, or Elite came up with this saying of under the bar. Your experience as a lifter is about how much time you've spent under the bar. And the same holds true for throwers. Your experience as a thrower comes down to how much time you've spent in the circle, how much time you spent with the implement in the hands. Now, if you have newer athletes, those athletes may have played football or played another sport during the fall. They may have already had experience with the weight room before this track season. So they may have already had previous experience with the weight room before this, and now that you still have them in the weight room, of course, like you should be doing during the season, now their weight room capabilities are great, but their shot put and their track and field capabilities are lacking a little bit. And really it just comes down to the fact that they have not spent a lot of time in the circle. It could also be, and now I just have to assume based on what you wrote me, it could also be that practice might not be separated the right way. We actually, I released a book and some videos a while ago for coaches that outline a little bit more about how to set up practices properly, as far as having your experienced guys kind of going through the glides and doing all their real experienced drills and full throws, and being a lot more gradual with your newer guys. Now, people try this, and a lot of times what happens is the newer guys kind of get blended in more with the older guys. So newer guys might start out with the best of intentions, learning things step by step, learning proper footwork, taking a week or two to properly teach a good power position, a good standing throw. But after a few weeks, it's like, hey, let's just, track meets are happening. Let's just throw them into the full glide. And instead of teaching step by step, we'll just correct as things pop up. And that's what happens. I'm not saying that's what's happened with you, but that's what happens with a lot of coaches. The other thing, are they spending enough time throwing? Sometimes coaches get so caught up with the weight room. They get caught up with sprinting. They get caught up with conditioning. They get caught up with medicine balls. They get caught up with all the bright, shiny new objects and shiny toys that they don't spend as much time in the circle as they should during the season. And you do need to spend a lot of time in the circle, especially if you're newer. That takes precedent over everything. That takes precedent over the weight room, over medicine balls, over conditioning, over all that stuff extra that you do. Drills to teach them and time in the circle takes precedent and trumps everything. The other thing, plain and simple, is that track season is not the most organized thing in the world, if I could say that. You don't have practice on the weekend a lot of times, but sometimes you have 1 or 2 meets during the week. So really, how much practice have these new guys had? If you're in the weight room a couple times a week, if you're out at the circle once or twice a week, and you have 1 or 2 sessions or 1 or 2 meets during the week, and then on Saturdays and Sundays you take the day off if there's no meet, Well, how much time have they spent in the circle? Are there a lot of kids that are sharing one circle? Are there 30 kids, 20 kids all trying to share one shot put circle, one discus circle, whatever the case might be? Is there a way to take the younger kids and put them aside, give the older kids 1 or 2 drills to work on while you take some of the younger kids aside and get them a little bit more proficient, sort of on a beginner level, on an entry phase type workout or type drill skill set? So these are just some ideas that you can have with your newer athletes to get them a little bit more proficient in the circle, to stop them from having, as you say, 2 left feet and 2 left hands. All right, guys, so these are just some ideas that, helping out John down there in Maryland. It's one of these things, John, where it takes a lot of time to learn. It takes a lot of time to get the footwork down, that rhythm and that coordination. All that stuff that's usually an afterthought with the throws because you're teaching form and footwork and technique. Balance, coordination, rhythm, all that stuff is not usually taught, but it's something that is sort of accumulated over time while you're doing other things. So give it some more time. Maybe try to break up practice a little bit more, work a little bit more with the beginner athletes, and trust the older athletes to be on their own. And you should see some really good results from these guys in just another week or 2. All right. Thanks for the questions, guys. If there's anything else, please send those questions in to me. And if you're wondering why I'm sweating so bad during a deload week, during an easy week, click the link below. Check out what we have to offer for in-season throwers. We've been selling a ton of these programs, a ton of these books, and haven't heard anything negative yet. Everyone loves it. Everyone has seen fantastic results during the season. They're getting stronger and peaking at the right time of year. You can do it too. Just click the link, read a little bit more, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.